All right, the White House is fighting new restrictions put on immigration raids in California. You see, a federal judge ordered ICE to stop making arrests without reasonable suspicion. The Department of Justice wants a federal court to lift restrictions, claiming they inflict, quote, irreparable harm by preventing the executive from ensuring that immigration laws are enforced. Joining me right now here in Studio 55 this morning is CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. Great to see you once again this morning, Katrina. We were sitting at a desk this morning, now we're standing in a virtual reality room. You never know what to expect next. Explain the scope of this order for us and why the Trump administration says it's actually an overstep.
So what this district court judge said, Errol, is that they cannot make stops based solely on certain factors. So race, appearance, language ability, if someone speaks Spanish or they don't speak English well, where they find them, whether it's at a car wash or a Home Depot, places where we've been seeing these raids take place, and also their occupation. There has to be evidence of reasonable suspicion. So a tip from someone, a warrant. It's also possible if a consensual conversation takes place between an immigration officer and a person, if information comes to light that makes them believe they may be unlawfully in the country, that's okay too. And these factors can play in. They can build on that reasonable suspicion. But what the judge said is that they can't just have these indiscriminate raids. They have to be targeted. They have to be individualized. Now, what the government says is that this is putting a straitjacket on federal immigration enforcement, that a district court judge is single-handedly trying to change the way that they're operating. And they say under the Fourth Amendment, there's this totality of circumstances test, and they can use all of these factors to build their reasonable suspicion. So they want a stay, they want this put on pause so they can keep executing these raids. A source that I spoke with at the ACLU said over the weekend they had gone down dramatically after this TRO was issued.
And what's interesting?
What's going on, America? Welcome back to Real Liberty Report, the channel where we speak truth, stand for freedom, and defend this nation from lawlessness and liberal insanity. Now, folks, I've just seen something that absolutely blows my mind. A federal judge in California, of course it's California, has just tied the hands of our brave ICE agents. That's right, the Biden Department of Justice is in court trying to reverse this ridiculous ruling. But the fact that we've even reached this point, it's outrageous. So grab your coffee, your Constitution, and buckle up, patriots, because today we're breaking down the left's latest attack on America's borders.
And what's interesting there is the question of what is reasonable is probably much different from the Trump administration's perspective and so many of these people who've been picked up who don't have a criminal record and were simply going about their regular working circumstances. What legal protections do these men and women who have been rounded up have?
Yeah, and that's absolutely right, Errol. It's this interpretation of what is reasonable suspicion. And even if someone is undocumented, they do have certain rights. They have constitutional rights, including the Fourth Amendment right, which protects them from unreasonable search and seizure. If someone comes to their home, they have to have a warrant. They have to have a reason to search them. They also have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent for due process. They don't have to answer questions. They don't have to sign anything without consulting with an attorney. They also have that Sixth Amendment right to an attorney. And that was another TRO that was issued, making sure that these people get legal counsel when they're detained. So they do have rights, even if they are not lawfully in this country when they are stopped.
And we're just about out of time, but this morning you did also mention protests scheduled for the next couple days in support of farm workers. Is that right?
Yes. So our correspondent Nydia Cavazos reported yesterday that there is supposed to be a nationwide strike starting on Wednesday, going until the 18th, and they want people to boycott buying produce in grocery stores and also certain companies who employ undocumented workers, but they say are supporting Trump's anti-immigration policies.
Interesting to see if that picks up steam. Katrina Kaufman, great to see you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So let me give it to you straight. A district court judge has now told our immigration and customs enforcement officers that they can't make arrests unless they have reasonable suspicion. Now, on paper, that might sound fine. No one's against due process. But here's the issue. This ruling goes out of its way to protect people who are in this country illegally. The judge says ICE can't consider a person's race, their language, or even where they're located, like a Home Depot or a car wash, when deciding whether to stop someone. Are you kidding me? These are known hotspots where illegal hiring happens. And now we're telling our agents, look the other way? That's not law enforcement, that's appeasement. And the media, don't even get me started. They're spinning this like ICE is just snatching up innocent people for no reason. No. What these agents are doing is targeted law enforcement. They're not breaking into homes willy-nilly. They're doing their jobs under extreme pressure, trying to clean up a broken system that the left refuses to fix. Let me remind you, if you are in this country illegally, you've broken the law. That's a fact. And I don't care if you're working hard or raising a family. Millions of immigrants have done it the right way. You don't get to jump the line and then scream racism when you're held accountable. Now here's the kicker. Even people who are here illegally are being told by the courts that they have Fourth Amendment rights, Fifth Amendment rights, Sixth Amendment rights. The list goes on. They don't even have to answer questions or sign anything without a lawyer. But let me ask you this. Do our veterans get that kind of treatment from this government? Do our struggling citizens? Think about that. American citizens are getting crushed by inflation, crime, and job losses, while illegals are shielded from ICE by activist judges. This is upside down America. Now here's a glimmer of hope. The Department of Justice, under pressure from everyday Americans like you, is trying to lift this insane restriction. They're saying that the court order is causing irreparable harm to immigration enforcement, and you bet it is. According to reports, ICE raids dropped dramatically after this judge's decision. That means more illegal immigrants avoiding accountability, more threats slipping through the cracks, and more chaos at the border and beyond. We need to be real here. This isn't about targeting innocent people. This is about restoring the rule of law and securing our homeland, period. Segment 5. Farm worker protests, a convenient distraction. Oh, and while all this is happening, guess what else is going on? There are protests being planned this week by activists supporting undocumented farm workers. They want us to boycott grocery store produce in some twisted stand against Trump's immigration policies. Let me be clear, no one is trying to destroy agriculture. But these activists are defending lawbreaking under the guise of compassion. And they're using emotional manipulation to push back against any attempt to enforce basic immigration law. We don't need more protests. We need policy, discipline, and a return to common sense. So I'm going to leave you with this. What kind of country do we want to be? Do we want a nation where lawlessness is rewarded and our federal agents are gagged by activist judges? Or do we want a country where our laws matter, our sovereignty is respected, and our borders are secure? This isn't about race. This isn't about cruelty. This is about America first, protecting our citizens, honoring our Constitution, and defending our future. I say this as a proud American. If we don't stand up and fight back, peacefully, legally, then we might as well kiss our border goodbye. So share this video, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment below. Should ICE have the right to conduct raids based on suspicious activity, even if the person hasn't committed another crime? Let's get this conversation going, patriots. Until next time, stay strong, stay free, and God bless the United States of America.